Okay, this is me taking the Bluebook math section blind. I've never seen any of these questions, so you are about to get my thought process on every question, every single one, easy module and the hard module. So let's go ahead and resume testing here. Which equation has the same solution as the given equation? Well, obviously I can do this in my head, but if you want to do it in Desmos, you can do this. 8. Which one of these has a solution as 8? I can just type it in like this. 4x equals 32. It's the same line, so it has to be A. Easy points. Great. So the function k is, let me move this over. Let me make sure it's good for you guys. Okay, that should be good. The function k is defined by this equation. What's the value of k of x when x is 2? Well, you can just plug 2 into this function. So we'll say k of x equals x cubed plus 110. And then I'll say k of 2. And it's 118. Pretty easy. Okay, let's delete all this stuff. So the table shows the amount of time it took Robert to complete each of the 5 tasks in a project. What was the mean time in minutes it took him to complete a task? So you're just doing the mean of these. It's really easy. 5, 2, 15, 9, 9. So the mean is 8. That's it. Okay, move on. The equation gives the possible combinations of the number of 2009 log cabin pennies and the number of 1996 select grade Lincoln pennies Y in a collection that is worth a total of 170. If there are 6 1996 select grade, which is the second one, Y, how many 2009 premium grades are there? Okay, this is confusing, a lot of numbers, but the gist is your equation is 8x plus 11y equals 170. It tells you there are 6 select grade pennies, which are Y. So we're plugging 6 in here. And we need to find out how many premium grade log cabin pennies are in the collection. That's just the X value. So you can just plug it in. It should be 13. Not 23, 13. Let me do this in my head to verify. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, move on. What describes the function f? Well, it's clearly an upwards curve like that, and it's increasing, so just increasing exponential. Okay. Which of the following is equivalent to this? Well, I could do it in Desmos. The way you do it is you do 6x plus 5x plus 4y equals 100 or something. And then you do the same thing for these equations and see which one is equal. It's just C by doing it in my head, but you'd plug it in like this, and it's the same line. I picked 100, but it doesn't matter what number you pick. Just don't pick a 1 or 0. You have to set them equal to the same number. So it's going to be C here. Triangles ABC and DEF are congruent, where A corresponds to D, B and E are right angles. The measure of A is 27. What's the measure in degrees of angle F? Okay, so B and E are right angles, which means they're both 90, and the measure of A is 27. So A, 27, plus B, which is 90, and the remainder is just 180 minus 117. So C is 63, but it's asking you for angle F. The thing is, though, these are congruent, so all the angles are the same, which means if C is 63, then F is as well. So it's just 63. There are 240 players in a tennis competition that includes 4 rounds of matches. Each player will play a match against another player in round 1. At the end of each round, the player who loses the match is eliminated, and the player who won the match advances to the next round to play against another winning player. Which equation gives the number of players eliminated at the end of round R, where R is less than or equal to 4? Okay, so, well, you start off with 240, so I guess you can just eliminate A and B. And then there's 4 rounds of matches. And at the end of each round, the guy who loses is out. The guy who wins advances. So basically, every time 1 goes up in the X value, you should be halving your competition pool. So it should be like 240, and then after round 1, 120, after round 2, 60, after round 3, 30, so on and so forth. So I'd probably just be C, I guess. Eliminated at the end of round R. Oh, I almost got this one wrong. Eliminated at the end of round R, right? So you're trying to count how many people get eliminated each round. So let me just double check. Gives the number of players. By the way, I haven't seen these questions, by the way, so this is why I'm thinking here. Guy who loses the match is eliminated, and the guy who wins advances. P eliminated at the end of round R. Okay, well, at the end of round 1, there should be, I guess my answer would stay the same. This is just very weirdly worded. I guess it isn't actually, because at the end of round 1, 120 get eliminated. At the end of round 2, 60 get eliminated. Yeah, okay, it's just C then. I was overthinking that. The given equation relates to quantities R, S, and T. Which equation expresses R in terms of S and T? I always do the same process for these, no matter how easy they are. Just put a tilde in, and then we'll say R equals 1 or something. Doesn't really matter what it is. We'll say T is like 6, 7. Doesn't matter. And then which expresses R in terms of S and T. Let me make this a little bigger for you guys. Can I? I can't make this bigger. Oh, there we go. Perfect. So we have this. R is 1. So you just plug all of these in and see which one is equal to 1. S plus T plus 38. No. S plus T minus 38. No. 38. S plus T. That is correct. It's going to be C. Let me double check though. S plus T over 38. And no, it's going to be C. Perfect. Line K is defined by that equation. Line J is parallel to line K and passes through this point. Which equation defines J? Well, if something is parallel, that means the slope is the same. So the slope of the other line is going to be 6, which means the answer is just A. That's it. Yeah. Pretty easy there. Make sure I'm still recording. Cool. So the length, let me fix the lighting, sorry. Is that better? That's a little better. Okay, so the length of one side of square M is 6 times the length of one side of square N. The area of square N is 49 square feet. What is the area in square feet of square M? Okay, well, I need to figure out how to start drawing here. Hold on. Okay, sorry, we're back. I'm burning some time here because I need to draw this out for you guys. So you have one square, and the side of square M is 6 times the length of one side of square N. So I would just draw this out and be like, okay, you have M here. This is M. And each side length is 6 times the smaller one, which is N, right? So say like these sides are 6, and these sides are 1. So the area of this is 1, the area of this is 36. For example, that's a ratio. But in the question, it tells us that the area of square N is 49, right? So we have to go back to the drawing and say, okay, if the area is 49, that means the sides are just 7. And over here, the sides would just be 6 times that, so 42. So then to find the area, you would just do 42 squared. So the area is 1764, and that would just be it. Which quadratic equation has one distinct real solution? Very, very simple. Well, it'll just be A, I guess, yeah. Nice. Cool, move on. The cost to rent a bus from Company X is $9.50 for the first 3 hours, and an additional $50 per hour for each hour after the first 3. If the total cost to rent the bus from Company X for T hours, where T is bigger than 3, is $11.50, which equation represents the situation? Okay, so it says $9.50 for the first 3 hours, and then $50 per hour after the first 3. So if you plug 3 into the function, you should get $9.50. If you don't, it's incorrect. It's that simple. So if you were to plug 3 in to A, you would get 0 plus 50 times 3, which is 150. That's incorrect. You're looking for 950. B, you plug 3 in, you get like a really big number. That's not even close. So it's not B. C, 50, and then T minus 3 is 0. So then you get 950. So just C. It's that simple. Cool. For the linear function g, the table shows 4 values of x and corresponding values of g of x. The function can be written as g of x equals mx plus b, where m and b are constants. What is the value of b? Well, you have a table, and it tells you g of x is just linear, right? So you can just plug it in as it is, like this, 32, 28, 24, 20. Graph it like this. Perfect. And it can be written as mx plus b, m and b are constants. So m is -4, b is 36. So yeah, B is 36. Perfect. The population of the town of Smithsville doubled every 75 years from 1659 to 1959. The population was 240,000 in 1959. What was the population of the town in 1659? Okay, I want to see how many times it doubled. So 1959 minus 1659 is a 300 difference, right? If it doubles every 75 years, then it doubled 4 times, right? It's over 75, you get 4. So it doubled 4 times in that time period. So you need a number that doubles 4 times to get 240,000. So you write it as like x1 times 2 to the 4th power equals 240,000. And it was just 15,000. And then let me double check. 15,000 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 240,000. So that's correct for sure. The scatter plot shows the relationship between x and y. What's the best slope of the line of best fit? Okay, so I never like to play these risky. I would just plug these in as is. So I'd be like, okay, 0 and like 3.2 or something. And then you have 2 and 4 points. It's going to be A for sure, but 2 and like 4.4, we'll say. Okay, pretty straightforward. Just A. Nice. For the quadratic function, the table shows 3 values x and corresponding values f of x. Which equation defines f? Well, you have a table. Let's just plug it in. Pretty simple. 24, 30, 32, -8, -8, and 8. So then this is a quadratic, by the way, so we changed to quadratic. And now we want to see which of these equations is the same as this. So to do that, you would literally just plug them in. Like A, I'm going to plug it in. And you're looking for it to overlap with the graph. A does not do that, so it's not going to be A. Let's try B. X minus 24, X minus 30, then minus 8. Is this the same? Yes, for sure. It overlaps it, so it's going to be B. A circle in the xy plane has a center here and a radius of 9k. Which equation represents the circle? So your center, this is very important. Your center in a standard form is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared. So the center is 19, which means 19 will go here, and then the y value is 18, so 18 will be here. This doesn't matter actually because they're all the same. So you're just looking at the radius. Now radius, the last number in the standard form is r squared. So if the radius is 9k, you have to do 9k squared. But you have to make sure to square both terms. It's not just 9k squared. It's 9k squared in parentheses. So the squared applies to the 9, 81, and the k. So it would look like this. It would just be B. A certain open star cluster contains M-type stars and K-type stars. The estimated total mass of M-type and K-type stars in the open star cluster is that many quadragrams. The graph shown models the possible combinations of the number of M-type stars X and the K-type stars Y that could be in the open star cluster if all the M-type stars have the same estimated mass and all the K-type stars have the same estimated mass. Based on the graph, which of the following is closest to the estimated mass in quadragrams of each M-type star in the cluster? Okay, a lot of words there, but these are your possible combinations of the number of M-type and K-type stars that could be in the cluster. So, for example, if there were 0 M-type stars on the x-axis, there would be like 135 K-type stars. So these are your combinations, which means no matter what, the total is 127,882. So for example, if there were 0 M-type stars, there would be 135 K-type. So to find the mass of each K-type, you would just do the total mass divided by that many, which is 947. But we're looking for the M-type stars. So we do the same thing for the M-type. Here it says if there were 0 K-type stars, there would be like 158 M-type. Does not have to be perfect. 127,882 divided by 158. It's like 809-ish. So it would just be, yeah, that's it. This is a question I do get a lot actually from some of my students. But you just have to understand that in the question, these are just the combinations of the different types of stars, right? So you technically could use a bunch of, hold on, why am I like, what's the light like pink? There we go, that's better. So these are the different types of combinations of the stars, which means you can pick technically any two numbers to fit here, not just the ones I chose. But these are just the easiest to choose the x-intercepts and the y-intercepts, whatever. Let's move on. in triangle QRS shown, QR is less than RS. Which equation represents the length of QS? Okay, so let me draw this out. Let me actually just do it on the other page. Cool. Let's do it here. Hello. Does not let me screenshot. All right. I hate Bluebook. So QR is less than RS. I'm going to say that we obviously will draw this. QR, Q is right here, R is here, S is here, and then 18 is on the bottom. 18 goes here. It tells you QR is less than RS. So we'll say QR is like 16. Plug and chug, okay? Plug and chug, as they say. Now, which expression represents the length of QS? We can just use SOHCAHTOA here. Pretty simple. So let's say we do cosine of Q. Cosine of Q would be adjacent over hypotenuse, which would be 16 over 18. Because remember, we put 16 here. So cosine of this, we're plugging into this function. So 18 times cosine of Q, 16 over 8. Is that equal to the length of QS? I don't know. Oh, we have to solve for, sorry. We have to solve for the hypotenuse first. Rookie mistake. 18 squared plus 16 squared. And then you do the square root of this, so square root 580. So the length of the hypotenuse is 24.083. Sorry, totally forgot that. But back to A, we do 18 cosine Q, which we did right here, and it's 16. So it is not the length of QS, so it can't be A. Now we're going to try 18 sine Q. Sine Q is so, opposite over adjacent, so it'd be 18, or opposite over hypotenuse, sorry. 18 over 24.083. Right here, remember, this is hypotenuse. So opposite over hypotenuse, and it's 18 times that, right? So this is 13, not equivalent to that number, so it can't be B. C, 18 over cosine of Q. Let's try that. 18 over cosine Q. I forgot what it is. 16 over 24.083. That's incorrect. Can't be C. Let's try D. 18 over sine Q. Sine Q, once again, is opposite over hypotenuse. So 18 over 24.083. And guess what? You get the same exact value as the hypotenuse, which they're looking for. So it's going to be D. And no, guys, it does not matter what number you pick for the other side, as long as it's less than 18. That's the only important part. That's it. Okay, next one. Ooh, this looks rough. So for a particular car, the linear function f gives the predicted power in brake horsepower, bhp, for engine speeds above 100 or 1,000 revolutions per minute and 6,000 RPM. According to the function, the car's predicted power is 433 bhp at a speed of 3331 RPM and 600 bhp at a speed of 4500 RPM. The equation this plus 433 defines f, where x is the engine speed and a is the constant. What's the value of f? I think this is just a long, elaborate way of plugging in points. So you plug the equation in. I've never seen this question. I'm going to solve this in like 30 seconds. Watch. Okay, so for engine speeds between this and that, the function is a thing, right? And you have 1 point. Keep in mind, your x is the engine speed. So our point would be 3331, comma, 433. That's your point. So that tells me f of 3331 is equivalent to 433. Now, your other point is f of 4500 is equivalent to 600 bhp. So you have 2 points. Hopefully I'm not embarrassing myself right now, but I think this should be pretty easy. F of 3231, comma, f of 4500. And then on the right side, 433, comma, 600. So then I guess A is just 3331. Interesting. So let's say A is 3331. Let me double check my work. Always want to double check. Now I just want to make sure that when x is 3331, the value of y is 433. Okay, so this is the answer. Beautiful. This is the last question? What? Okay. 52x cubed plus 64 x fourth minus 81 equals 0. This is exactly why I made practice tests, because my practice tests are so much harder. So this actually might be like a trick here. I mean, it would just be 3 by the look of it. Okay, yeah, it's just 3. Let me double check though. Yeah, we're good. Let me double check by taking the 0 away. And then, yeah, still 3. So that is it. I think I got a perfect score on that one. I have plenty of time left over, so I'm going to go through and check it. This is 100% good. This is 100% good. At this point, I would do it by hand just to make sure I didn't screw up Desmos. Always good to do that. So 7, 22, 31, 40 divided by 5 is 8, correct? If there are 6 Lincoln pennies, you guys can skip forward like 5 minutes, by the way, if you don't want to see me checking these, but it's still a good idea. Increasing exponential. This is easy. This is easy. This is easy. 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 Maybe you should check this, actually. Equals negative 45. Who am I kidding? Next. This is fine. This is for sure good. This is good. Okay, yeah, I got perfect on this. This test is maybe a little easy. I don't know. What do you guys think? Okay. Mod 2, here we go. Time to cook. Purchased the pass that cost $19.50 to Tori Preserve. She also purchased 10 identical stickers to give to her niece and nephews. The pass and the stickers cost $62. What's the cost of one sticker? Well, I need to find the cost of all the stickers together. So I do 62 minus 1950, and then divide by 10. That's it. Okay. This is easy. You should never ever get these wrong, or I'll be very disappointed in you. Equals 155. What is the value of y? 30. Nice. Speed is key on these, so you gotta have plenty of time in the last ones. Leo is $15. Each container is 187. Each roll of tape is 240. Which inequality represents this? C is the number of containers. So 187 has to go with the C, so it's either A or B. And then he has $15, so he has to stay under it, which means it has to be A. What's the slope? Another one of these. These are so easy. Table 2, 2.8, and then it would be like 4 and 3 point. I don't know. It's gonna be C for sure. C. What is that, like 3.5? Something like that. It's C for sure. That's it. Well, the graph shows the estimated boiling point in degrees Celsius of a normal paraffin with a weight of X grams per mole. Which statement is the best interpretation of this point? Well, before I look at these, you always want to be predicting the answer before you look at it on these. So X is your grams per mole, your weight, and your Y is your boiling point. So this point would mean when this thing weighs 149.02 grams, it's going to be this boiling point, right? So the weight is 149.02. It can't be A. Could be B. Okay, so routine A or B, C, and D, sorry. A normal paraffin with a weight of 149.02 has an estimated boiling point of 186 degrees Celsius. I think this is just it. Yeah. The minimum estimated. I just think minimum and maximum are completely irrelevant, right? Yeah, okay. Move on. If blah, 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 okay, this is literally just plugging it in. F of x equals x plus 6. Desmos just makes this test so easy, man. 7 f of 2 minus g of 2. 44. Great. circle A is this equation. Circle B is the same center. The radius is 2 times the radius of A. So let me find the radius of A. The last number is r squared. So r squared equals 25, which means the radius is 5. So the radius is 5 of the first one. The radius of B is 2 times the radius of circle A. So the radius of B is 10. Now the equation of finding B is this for K is constant. What's the value of K? Now we found the radius of the second one. I need to find K, which is the last number. And the last number is radius squared. And the radius is 10. So you do 10 squared, which means K is 100. The function f is defined by that equation for what value I'm going to save myself the mental work here. F of x equals 9, 2x plus 3. And then I can just say f of x equals 63. Look where they intersect. It's going to be 2 here. That's it. One equation can be written as that, where k is constant. So we plug it in like this, plus 7x plus 5 equals 0. And then we'll just say, we'll just do these two. So minus 7 plus square root k over 2. Let's add a slider for k. And k has to be positive, by the way, because it's square root. So we'll put the bound to like 0. Great. So as you can tell, it's only getting more negative, which means, oh, it's just going to be one of the negative ones. They're both negative. So let's put k like 100. Spice it up a little bit. If k is 100, that's too high. 20. You're looking for this right here. So I guess I could just set it equal with a tilde. Tilde negative 0.80. Sorry, I'm terrible at typing. 0.8742. Is that fine? Ooh, I don't know. We might be in trouble here. Hold on. Slider. 0.80. Does it ever get there? Oh, it does. Okay, never mind. We're fine. 80.742. So it would just be 29 now. 80.7. Sorry. 0.8742. Yeah, it's just 29. Yeah. 29, because now this thing is the same as that right there. And k is 29. That's pretty simple. Okay, the given equation can be written in that form. Is constant. What's the value of that? Simple tilde question. We're just finding a constant with the given equation, so this is just a tilde. Plus that's minus 7x1 cubed plus 5x1 squared minus 3x1 squared plus x1, and then set it equal to the other side, plus x cubed plus ax1 squared minus x1, and then I guess we can just say this, and then a is negative 8. That's it. The shaded region shown represents situations or the solutions to this inequality. What's the value of r? Well, I'll say ry less than 60, slider for r, and you just want to see when it looks like this graph. Pretty straightforward. This is MCQ. Let's plug the answers in. When it's 15, this is not what we're looking for. We're looking for the bottom to not be shaded and the top to be shaded. So not 15. Try 4. Same idea. Can't be that. Negative 4. Not going to be negative 4. Probably going to be D here. Let me double check. So this is at 4. This is at negative 4. Beautiful. Matches perfectly. It's going to be D. Nice. Set k consists of all the positive integers that are less than or equal to 160, where none of the integers are repeated. If a number is selected at random from set k, so let me stop right here. If they were selected at random, the probability would be 1 over 160. What is the probability of selecting a number that is even and less than or equal to 50? So how many is that? Less than or equal to 50 is 50 over 160, but they have to be even. So that's only half of them. It would be 25 over 160. We simplify this down into 5 over 32. You can double check with Desmos. Best friend. Same number. Beautiful. Let's move on. The histogram summarizes dataset A, which represents the number of points per player earned by 50 players of the game. A new player earns 18 points playing the game, and this number of points is added to dataset A to create dataset B with 51 values, which is volume must be true. Okay, hold on. A new player earns 18 points playing it. So you add a new guy who earned this many right here. And okay, so you have a new data set and you just add a guy who scores 18. So before I look at the answers, the mean obviously goes down. So 2 is true. Let me see if 1 is true, though. I gotta find the mean. Oh, this is gonna be hard. Actually, it won't be that hard. So you have 50 people. Here you have like 4 people that score that many, and you have like 6 that score that many, and then you have like 26, and then you have. Ooh, this actually could be a tricky one here. Okay, hold on. Actually, no, never mind. The median is between 50 and 60. If you add 18, it's still going to be between 50 and 60. So 1 is incorrect, actually. It would just be 2 only. Yeah. In the scale model of an office building, a length of 1 inch is equivalent to a length of 17/3 feet in the actual one. If a length in the actual building measures x feet, which expression represents the corresponding length in inches of the model in terms of x? Oh, this is pretty simple. So these are all your length in the actual building in terms of x. Yeah. So for example, if I were to plug 17/3 in, I should get 1 in return because that would show you it corresponds to 1 inch, if that makes sense. So A, for example, 3 times 17/3, and the bottom is 17 times 12. So this should correspond to a length of 1 inch because it tells you the scale model with 1 inch is equivalent to 17/3 feet in the actual one. So we're plugging the x feet in for these functions, and then the output is the scale model. So you should get 1 in return, which means it can't be A. B is going to be 17 times 17/3, and then 12 times 3. This is not 1, so it can't be B. It's probably just going to be C here just by eyeballing it, but 3 times 17/3, and then 17. So it's equal to 1, which is what we're looking for, so it's just C. That's it. And then, little trick, 2 inches would be 34/3 feet, which means if I plug 34/3, I should get 2. And it still works, so it's pretty cool. In the given equation, p is bigger than 1, t is bigger than 1. If t equals that, what's the value then? Okay. We'll plug it in. Nth root 3 p squared equals t to the 9/7 tilde. And then p is bigger than 1, so let's say p is 2, and then t is 2, or t is 3, so make this a little bigger for you guys. There we go. Okay, n is a constant. What's the value of n? Oh, I forgot this equation. We gotta do a list, sorry. Comma. Let me see this. We have 2 equations, right? It's gonna be a big regression, so we have to use a list here. Brackets both sides, and then put a bracket here as well. I screwed it up. There we go, that's better. So the second equation will be t, and then p to the 3n minus 1. Great. So would that be the answer? Yeah, I guess n would just be 0.506. Yeah, that's the answer. Let me double check if anything changes here. Whoa. Oh, there we go. Okay. Reason why it has to be this, just some reassurance, is when the RMSE is 0, then you're more likely to have it correct. Yeah. By the way, you might see me looking at my phone. I'm just setting my playlist. I'm not looking at the answers. Just showing you. Okay, so the function g is from the given equation. A and b are constants. The graph passes through those 2 points. Start by plugging it in. X squared minus x minus a. X cubed minus x minus b. Now it passes through 2 points. What's the value of b? This is actually very easy. So we have 2 points, we plug it into a list. G of 0, comma, G of negative 22. And then the right side you go 22, comma 0. Because G of 0 is 0, comma 22. It's equivalent to 22. And then G of negative 22 is equal to 0. So you plug it into the list, the value of B is 23. Oh, okay. Well, I've done one of these before. Two lines intersect at exactly 1 point, forming 2 acute and 2 obtuse angles. The measure of one of the angles is 9x minus 140, which of the following could not be the sum of any measure of any of the two. Okay, so I'm going to do this fast because I'm running out of time for you guys. But basically, something like this. And then one of the angles is 9x minus 140. We'll say it's the obtuse one. So let's solve for the acute one, which means we do 180 minus this. 180 minus 9x minus 140. So that means the angle of the acute one would be 320 minus 9x. Now, you found your obtuse, you found your acute. So the sum, which of the following could not be the sum of any of the measures of any of the two angles. So negative 18x would be 3 acute and 1 obtuse, because you would add 3 acute and 1 obtuse, and then you would get minus 18x. Let me do my head. 820? Is that right? 320. Yeah, it should be 820. So plus 820 we're looking for. Oh, hold on. Maybe I did the math wrong. 140, 180 minus this. Am I stupid? What? 140. Ah, shit. Which of the following could not be the sum? Okay. I'm using my own strategy coming back to it. I know how to do it, but I'll double check later. Okay, this one is easy as well. Hopefully I don't screw it up. So you have these two. Like this. Oh, I'm gonna run out of time, guys. Uh-oh. I'm selling. Okay, so YQ is 21. WQ is 70. 2170. I took too long explaining the other ones. 2170, and then we have WX is 60, XQ is 120. And we need to find the measure of YZ. YZ is this one. Okay, this one actually isn't too hard. I think all you would do is 21 over 70 equals this over that. 21 over 70 equals something over 120. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, this side is 36, right? We're not solving for that. That side is 36. We're looking for the other side. So what I can do is I can do 60 over 120 equals something over 36. Same ratio. 60 over 120 equals something over 36. Great. This side's 18. Easy. Next. The given system is one equation in a system of two. If the system of equations has at least one solution, which of the following could be the other one? This is really easy. 2x plus 9y equals 7. And then let's plug 1 in. 3x plus 13.5y equals 10.5. It says at least one solution, okay? This looks infinite to me. So one only could be correct. Let's try the second one. It just minus. At least one solution. Well, that is also a solution, so just do both. Oh, I'm cooked. Let's come back. Oh, this is easy. Good. The weight of sample A is 468% of the weight of sample B. So A, 468% of B. And then the weight of A is 0.780% of C. And then it says if the weight of sample C is P% of B, P is 60,000. Easy peasy. So we have what, 3 left? Okay, we're lucky shell now. Let me finish this one off. This one's pretty easy. So we have 2 cubed, 2 obtuse. The measure of one of them is 9x minus 140. I did that correct. And then we need to find the other one. I must have done something incorrectly. So 180 minus this equals that, right? So it should be minus 9x plus 320. Right? Okay, yeah. So if we were to get it'd be minus 18x plus 820. I must be blanking right now. Oh my god. I'm selling for you guys. Hold on. Jeez. What am I doing, bro? Let me just try it again. So this one is 180 minus that. 180, because it's supplementary, I forgot to explain that. Minus 9x minus 140. So you distribute it, it's going to be negative 9x, and then 180 minus negative 140, so it's plus 320. So if you got 3 of these angles, it would be negative 27x plus 960. Then you add one of these angles, and it becomes negative 18x plus 820. Right? So what, bro? Any two of the angles. Oh, I'm so cooked, man. Oh, okay, let me take my other 3 points then. A right rectangular prism has a base area of 24t. Base area of 24t, okay? The length of the base is 8 over 3, and the height is 15. This is actually pretty easy. I said that for the last one too, but I screwed it up. So you have a prism like this. And then the length of the base is 8 over 3. Okay. So this is 8 over 3, we'll say. And the height is 15. It tells you that the base area is 24t. So to find the width, I just do 8 over 3 times something is 24t. Okay, so x is 9, and then you have the t, it's 9t. So the width is 9t. Great. So length 8 over 3, width 9t, height 15. Now, surface area is 2 length width, 2 width height, 2 height length. So it's just 2 width length plus 2 length height plus 2 height width. Great. Now, back to the thing. Length is 8 over 3. And then width and height have weird t's attached to them, so we're going to have to do it manually. Or height's 15, actually. It makes it pretty easy. Okay, and then width is 24. Let's just plug it in manually. Sorry, guys. 8 over 3 with the length. Length is 8 over 3. This goes here. Height is 15. So 15 goes here. and then the width is 9t. So let's simplify this right here. Wait. Oh, I can't copy paste it. Shit, dude. Okay, so 2 with 8 over 3 plus this right here. 2, 8 over 3 times 15. So this is 80. And then, so it's going to be one of these, B or C, I think, already. Yes, that's correct. It's either B or C, and then we got to find the other stuff. So W is 9t, which means this is 30 times 9t, so that's 27t. And then on the left side, it's going to be 2w, so it's going to be 18t times 8 over 3. So it's going to be 48t, which means it's B. You got it all together. Okay. I got to save time, guys. Sorry. 21. We have this. I don't really know if this is efficient, but we're going to do it anyway, just to get it right. So we have this graph here. It's going to be 1, 0, negative 2, 0, 3, 0. Let's plug some other stuff in. Negative, like, 2.3, comma, I don't know, negative 8. And then let's see, like, one right here, 4, 6. Is that enough? Let's do this right here. Negative 1 is at, like, 6.2 or something. So we graph this. This is Quadratic, by the way. So our graph looks something like this. Now you have this equation. I can't copy paste it because it's Bluebook. Oh, that's so annoying. Okay, I have to type it out manually. Yeah. So, actually, no, let's do this. Screw that. Export. Let's do this. Okay. So, yes, we have this. And then all I want to do is I'm going to change out the x's for x plus 28. I think this should be fine. My cortisol is max right now. Great. X plus 28. Why am I doing this? Because you want to get it to the other graph so that you can set them equal to each other. And then find for the other constants. X1, wait, that's fine. Plus F. Sure, we're good, I think. Let's leave this. Oh, we screwed up. A equals negative 0.1. 0.1295. Great. Now B is 15.593. 15.5939. I really don't know if this is a fast way to do this. Negative 701.753. 13,98781. And then F is 287,459. Anything except do this by hand, am I right? All right, hold on, we're gonna come back to this. We have 7 minutes. Let's not stress about it, okay? I need to figure out how to get this right. I'm screwing this up really badly. I don't know what I'm doing. So I must be doing this wrong, right, guys? Two acute and two obtuse. The measure of one of the angles is 9x minus 140. Any two of the angles. I'm so stupid. Sorry, guys. I'm really unintelligent. So if you have two of these acute angles, I was doing it right. If you have two of these acute angles, it would just be negative 18x plus 640. So what does that tell me? Well, it could be this, but it could not be this because it wouldn't be 280. So A is the answer. Usually on the question A, it's 4 angles, but this is 2. I'm so stupid. Okay, sorry guys. That's easy. I did this. I got to figure this out. I'm used to copy and pasting these questions. Table. 1, 0. 3, 0. Negative 2, 0. 4, 6. Okay, and then we're going to like negative 2.3 and then negative 7. And then we're going to do negative 1 is like 6.2. 6.3 we'll say. Sure. Graph. Quadratic regression. Great. F of g of x equals negative 0.118621 8621 x to the fourth. And then I want to translate it to the left, right? So I'm going to do... Yeah, okay, I'm doing it right. X plus 28. And then I'm going to do plus 1.0313 x plus 28 cubed plus, or no, minus 1.00808 x plus 28 squared minus 4.48529 x plus 28 plus 4.39559. Okay, so we translated it over to the left. Now I need to find the equation for this, like the actual equation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this right here and then plug the points into a table again so I can find the values and then set it equal to the other one. So the table is going to be negative 29,946, 360. Guys, I know this is not efficient, but I just want my free points. Negative 27.04, and you should have plenty of time if you do the other stuff right. 692. And then right here is like negative 2502, 329. Great. Now this is negative 21.28935. Also 0. And then let's just plug in another one to be certain. Negative 22.57. 08, comma 12.3008. Okay, I guess this is enough to graph. Quadratic. Oh god, I'm so fried. Okay, let's start by plugging that side over here in. 1 over 10 x1 minus a squared x1 minus b squared x1 minus c, and then we want to set it equal to that side here. So it's going to be negative 0.118661342 x1 to the fourth minus 12.253468 x1 cubed minus 472.34183 x1 squared minus 850.67737 x1 minus 51180.2597. All right, we should be pretty close. B is negative 29, so that is, I feel like it's pretty obvious what it is. It has to be negative 25. It's so close. It can't be negative 2. There's no way. B equals negative 25. So the arm at C is 14.4. RMSE for -2 is very big. For 3, it's very big. For A, it's very big as well. So judging by that right there, the RMSE is the lowest for -25, which means that it's more accurate than the other ones. So it's going to be probably D. Maybe I'll make a video with like a more efficient way to do this problem, but all I know is I got it right, I think. So, final answer, this is correct for sure. This is definitely good. This is good. That was easy. I think that's good. This is good. This is good. This should be good. It's definitely good. Ooh, wait, hold on. So the mean would be the 25th and 26th value, which this has. Okay, there's no stress there. It's easy. I mean, I should be perfect here. There's no way, right? If I'm not perfect, oh, I'm cooked. I don't even know what the minimum, like, it's not talking about minimum at all. Can't be that. That's easy. Yeah, okay. I just put perfect, I think. Don't quote me on it. Actually, yeah, sure, quote me on it. I think I went perfect. We don't have to delay the inevitable. Let's see. Let's see. Come on. All right. No 790. No 790. If I get a 790, I'm a fraud. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Stand by. Oh my goodness, guys. 800 math. Oh my goodness. Yo, I'm so dialed, dude. I gotta take the March SAT or the May or something. Yeah, wow. What a beautiful performance from the kid. I've never seen those questions before, by the way, at all. No answer key, no nothing, just Spotify. So, yeah. Hopefully you guys took a lesson from that walkthrough, saw my thought process. I know that one graph one got a little chaotic, but I got it right at the end of the day. So, wow. I'm curious, what was the way to actually do that one? It was this one, right? Yeah, I'm not doing all that. Okay. Hope you guys enjoyed, and make sure to show up to the next webinar for more stuff like this. Peace out.